Hello everybody and welcome to a little different video on this channel. It's a review this time and we're going to do a review of Batman Arkham Origins, which is the latest Batman game from WB Montreal, who did this game, and it's actually not a bad game, but there have been some issues throughout me playing it. But let's do this systematically and start from the good. The good is that it's not a bad game. I've been playing it on the PC. For the most part, it runs really smoothly, hardly any frame drops or anything. But you know, there are the odd occasional ones which just come out of nowhere and just blindside you, and it does take you out of the moment to be like, oh great, I've got to deal with this whilst I'm fighting a room of like 20 dudes. Because yes, the combat situations, they will throw you in about 30 dudes at once. They do not care, you know, and I think that's always another strength of this series, is the combat has always been about the timing of your moves and depending on what gadgets you want to use and how to work those in, and being really aware of your surroundings. And that system has come back in full force, and it's been worked well. And it does not hurt the game at all. Also, the story had me going. It really did. Like, you know, it was a very basic premise of 8 assassins coming to kill the Batman. So you kind of get, okay, it's going to be similar to the style of Arkham City, just traveling around the city, taking them out. But the way they used each of the assassins, they didn't necessarily use them as bosses. So, for example, you had Bane as a boss, you had the Joker as a boss, sort of. But whereas characters like Shiva and Deadshot, had their own side stories which you didn't have to tackle within the main line of the game, which I think was good, because if you to use all 8, it would feel a bit redundant and very samey, whereas they're using it in a similar style as Arkham City, where you had the Riddler side quest to go after, you had the Zaz side quests to go after. You know, they made sure there was a bit of flexibility and flow to how the assassins were dealt with. And you know, this game has, again, like I mentioned, just the side missions will keep you going for hours. You've got the Enigma Towers. Guess who Enigma is? Enigma Towers, his data packs, and his relays, which you need to destroy to get to him in the end. And then you've got all kinds of other side missions that will just pop up. Like you're tapped into the crime broadcasting airwaves, so you get a few dispatch calls. You go and deal with those, and also you get a few other random side quests to do that to help with the story. But you know, they just add up to the fleshing out of this world, which is good, and that can really distract you from the main line, as you can just go off, do that, the main line will stay where it is, and you can just pursue the story, and it's fun. It doesn't detract. And also Deathstroke, if you get that part of the DLC, you're playing as Deathstroke the Terminator. There's no downside to that. The end. But seriously, Deathstroke is a really fun character to play with. He has his own slight quirks to how he feels, but sometimes it feels a bit too similar to Batman, because in Arkham City, when you get to play as Catwoman or Nightwing or Robin, they each had their kind of different weights, and Catwoman was a really, really light character, whereas if you played as Nightwing, he had his escrima sticks, which allowed him to be kind of acrobatic but forceful with his attacks and very fast moving, and when you played with Batman, he felt very bulky, very heavy and weighty. But with this, I felt like there was not much of a difference between Deathstroke and Batman, as I felt too samey, as they had the same build, pretty much the same martial art style, but you know, the little gadgets they had helped to change and tweak how it felt. Now the bad. Unfortunately, like I said earlier, there are frame drops that just come out of nowhere. Like when you're going through indoors and there's like a room with a load of fire, and there's just frame drops, like for no reason, going from about 60 straight down to like 20 frames per second, and sometimes less than that. And I had to stop playing the game for a while, which made it unplayable. And it's common knowledge, this game also has a lot of bugs even on the PC version, console version. I think on the PC it was more evident because you had the Burnley Tower glitch, which you know, that's one of the big main ones. But another one is when you're fighting Bane near the end. It's kind of spoilers, but you fight Bane near the end, and then you it plays one cutscene and plays another cutscene and then spawns you into a black box where you're eternally falling. And that literally for a couple of days I couldn't finish this game, and it put everything on hold, and this is why it's like a week late, unfortunately, which is annoying. And even when they brought out the patches, it created more problems. So the first patch allowed me to spawn into the room with no Bane, and then the second patch allowed me to spawn into the room with Bane, but then when I went into New Game Plus, fighting the first fight against Killer Croc, you start to see again, frame drops, and you could see through the character models, like the eyeballs, the teeth, and it was just weird. It did not feel good at all. Like, how could those get past QA testing is what I want to know. Like, these are literally game-breaking bugs, especially the Bane glitch. You know, that isn't the course of the story. How does that really get through QA? And that was something I think it really annoyed me, and that should have been sorted out from day one. And on lesser scale, the combat is, as I said earlier, it was good, but you know, it has its gripe. You have your frustrating moments when you're like, I'm getting through this combo, and then one guy just hits you, and you thought you hit the Y button, counter button in time, but you don't, and that is the most annoying feeling. But it feels good as well at the same time, being super annoying. But overall, it's a fun time, good story. They didn't really add anything new to the mechanics of the game, but if you ain't broke, don't fix it, you know? So overall, if I was to give this game a score, it would be a 7.5 out of 10, because if you like Batman, you're gonna love this. If you love the previous two Arkham games, you're gonna love this. But if you are not necessarily a fan of the series, don't bother going anywhere near it, because it's gonna be more of the same. There's not much new added to it, but it's still a good package all around, apart from the bugs. But other than that, it's been good. Fun time. So thank you guys for listening and or watching to this review. Hope you like, comment, subscribe, and share to all your friends, and stick around on my channel to see all the other videos I have in the future, and who knows, I maybe do more video game stuff in the future. Alright guys, thank you for listening. Bye bye.